Here's how it all started.
The Joy FM has been shining our light for 37 years, and we're excited about the future. But sometimes, before you can move forward, you have to look back. The Joy FM story began when a Tennessee farmer's son, fascinated by radio, felt a call on his life. He left his radio job, packed his wife and 2 young kids, and drove to Florida to attend Southeastern College. After graduating college, Jim took a job as a youth pastor and music minister and talked the pastor of the church into starting one of the first Christian music stations in the country. A few years later, it was time to expand.
The pastor was very media-oriented. And just one day, I walked into his office and I said, you know, we really should start a contemporary Christian radio station. That's where it all started. We sort of launched out and started 2 missions projects. One of them was the Joy FM in Sarasota, and the other one was in WLFJ, his radio, in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh my goodness, the sign-on for the Joy FM, June 2nd, 1986. We all piled into the studio and we flipped the switch and everybody sang "To God Be the Glory." And we dedicated the Joy FM to the Lord back then, and it was just incredible. God has done exceedingly abundantly beyond anything we could have prayed, asked, thought, or imagined. So much more. So grateful for all that He's done.
Then something happened that would change the course of the Joy FM.
I got fired. It's plain and simple.
But it wasn't the end. It was just a new beginning for Jim and the Joy FM.
I get pretty emotional about this when I start thinking about this. Bill Watkins of Watkins Motor Lines came to me and said, Jim, things haven't been too good for you in the past few months. Why don't we buy a couple of the radio stations that you started? Make a long story short, he said, I'll furnish the money to buy those 2 stations. Do you want to draw up a contract, or how do you want to handle this? And he said, nope, handshake's good enough for me. It came from a handshake with Bill Watkins sitting outside of his business when he said, don't need a contract. This is God's work. And that's the way it all got started.
At midnight, we would sign off the air. But then, about August of that year, we hired this young guy.
I went to the first overnight shift that the Joy FM ever put on the air. We had a guy named Dave Kirby. He's still in the industry. He was working mornings with Kathy. It was Kathy and Kirby in the morning. And when it came time for Dave to leave, I was available.
About 25 years ago, I was asked to fill in for the morning show with Bill Martin.
Michelle and I did mornings for about 3 years.
And we had a lot of great adventures. We did some crazy broadcasts. We broadcast from a hot air balloon once, did the morning show from a hot air balloon.
One of the things that was unique about those early years is there were just so few of us, and everybody was just doing everything. The morning show would be over, every employee of the Joy FM is meeting in one small office, and we're just dreaming up ideas. And I think I remember something that's very similar between now and then. I don't think the Joy FM has ever, by God's grace, failed to connect personally with our audience. I think the mentality of the people that are on the air and the people that work in the office is that this is about one person today. This is about the person that God wants to use us to connect with. We know that the Lord is using this radio station to touch people's lives, and I've seen that in many ways over the years.
What began as a dream in the heart of that farmer's son has now grown from one station to a network of stations, bringing together listeners in 3 states to create one community of shared hearts. As we step into the next era, you can help the Joy FM continue to shine. Our Share-a-thon starts September 19th, but you don't have to wait. You can shine your light now by giving your gift at thejoyfm.com.